We often blame our health struggles on the obvious vices. But tonight, we are going to look at the subtle, invisible risks that are statistically more dangerous than alcohol. Number one, might change how you view your entire day. We will navigate through the science of aging with a gentle hand, looking at the dangers of skipping hydration, the hidden risks of loneliness, and the one sedentary habit that outweighs them all. Prepare to reset your understanding of health slowly and calmly. Welcome to your sanctuary. Here the night is soft and the pace is unhurried. As we settle in, let us cast aside the heavy blankets of guilt or fear. We are not here to scold or to panic. We are here to understand the quiet whispers of our changing bodies. Aging is a privilege, but it is also a shift in biology. The rules that governed our bodies at 30 no longer apply at 60 or 70. We often hold on to habits that served us well in our youth, not realizing that they have become heavy burdens for our aging systems to carry. There is a common belief that to live a long life, one must simply avoid the bottle. While moderation is wisdom, focusing solely on alcohol is like locking the front door while leaving the back windows wide open. There are other thieves of time, silent and unassuming, that creep into our daily routines. Tonight, we will identify 5 of them, counting down from the most obvious to the most surprising. We start this journey not to worry you, but to empower you. Knowledge, after all, is the most soothing balm for anxiety. Let us begin with number 5 on our list, the one everyone suspects: alcohol. It sits at number 5 because, while it is significant, it is often the only one we pay attention to. The relationship between men and their evening drink is often a long one. For decades, a glass of wine or a tumbler of whiskey has marked the end of the working day. It is a ritual of transition, a signal that rest has begun. However, as we cross the threshold of 60, our physiology changes. Our body water content decreases, meaning the same amount of alcohol becomes more concentrated in our blood. The liver, that faithful guardian, works a little slower, clearing toxins with less efficiency than it once did. The real danger here is not just the toxicity, but the theft of sleep. We often believe a nightcap helps us drift off, and indeed it may help us lose consciousness faster. But sleep and sedation are two very different things. Alcohol fragments the architecture of our rest. It suppresses REM sleep, the deep, dreaming state, where our emotions are processed and our memories are stored. When we rely on a drink to settle down, we often wake up in the early hours, staring at the ceiling, heart racing, bereft of the restoration we desperately need. If we can gently release this crutch, or perhaps save it for special occasions rather than daily rituals, we allow our natural rhythms to return. We invite true peace back into our nights. Now let us move deeper to a habit that is far easier to ignore. Number 4 is the neglect of oral health. This may seem like a small, cosmetic concern, unworthy of a list about life and death. You might wonder how a tooth can stop a heart. Yet the evidence is compelling and quiet. The mouth is the gateway to the body. It is not separate from the rest of us. When we ignore bleeding gums or skip the nightly flossing, we allow bacteria to thrive. In older men, There is a stubborn tendency to view dental care as optional, something to address only when there is pain. But by the time there is pain, the damage is often deep. The inflammation that starts in the gums does not stay in the gums. It enters the bloodstream. These markers of inflammation travel to the vessels of the heart and the delicate structures of the brain. Chronic inflammation is like a slow, smoldering fire within the body, taxing the immune system and hardening the arteries. It is a silent accumulation. There is no sudden crash, just a gradual erosion of vitality. The simple act of caring for our teeth is a profound act of heart protection. It is a daily practice of respect for the vessel that carries us. If you have been avoiding the dentist out of fear or stubbornness, consider this a gentle invitation to reconsider. A healthy mouth is a quiet guardian of a healthy heart. As we continue our countdown, we arrive at number 3. This habit is deceptive because it feels like nothing at all. It is the habit of dehydration. You might think you know when you are thirsty, but here's the trick time plays on us. As we age, our thirst mechanism fades. The signal from the brain that says drink water becomes a whisper, and then, eventually, silence. We can be profoundly dehydrated and feel nothing but a vague sense of fatigue or a slight fog in the thinking. Many men attribute this brain fog to just getting old. They accept the lethargy as the price of admission to their 70s. But often it is simply a lack of fluid. Our cells are like grapes. Without water, they become raisins. The blood volume drops. The heart has to pump harder to move nutrients around, and the kidneys struggle to filter waste. This state of chronic dryness affects our balance. It makes us dizzy when we stand up too fast, increasing the risk of falls, a major threat to longevity. It concentrates the urine, irritating the bladder and causing us to wake up more often in the night, further ruining our sleep. The solution is so simple it feels almost too easy to be true. A glass of water upon waking. A glass of water between meals. We do not need to drown ourselves, but we must drink before we are thirsty. We must offer water to our bodies as we would water a cherished plant, regularly and with care. This brings us to a specific benefit for those who choose to listen to these nightly broadcasts. By subscribing to our channel, you are creating a routine of mindfulness. You are setting aside time to check in with yourself. Just as we remind you to drink water, we remind you to breathe, to rest, and to listen. A simple click to join us ensures you never miss these gentle reminders. We are approaching the heavy hitters now. Number 2 is a habit that has become the defining feature of modern life, and it is particularly dangerous for men in retirement. It is the habit of stillness. We call it the chair. When we retire, we often feel we have earned the right to sit. We have worked hard for 40 years. We have stood. We have marched. We have labored. Now the armchair beckons. It promises comfort. It promises a break. And rest is good, but prolonged, unbroken stillness is a signal to the body that it is time to shut down. Our muscles are not just pulleys that move our bones. They are metabolic organs. They regulate our blood sugar. They communicate with our immune system. When we sit for hours on end, watching the news, reading, or simply staring out the window, our large muscles go dormant. They stop pulling glucose from the blood. The metabolism drops to a crawl. Over time, the muscles themselves begin to waste away, a condition known as sarcopenia. This loss of muscle is not about vanity. It is about reserve. Muscle is our armor. It protects our joints, it keeps our balance, and it acts as a reservoir of protein for the body to use when we get sick. When we lose that armor, we become fragile. The chair becomes a trap. The more we sit, the harder it is to get up, and so we sit more. It is a cycle that shortens life by weakening the very frame that holds us up. But the antidote is not to run marathons. It is not to join a gym filled with loud music and heavy iron. The antidote is simply to break the stillness, to stand up during commercial breaks, to walk to the mailbox, to tinker in the garden. It is about keeping the engine idling rather than turning it off completely. Life is movement. Even gentle movement tells the body, we are still here, we are still active, keep the systems running. And now we arrive at number 1, the habit that is statistically more dangerous than obesity, more dangerous than inactivity, and yes, more dangerous than that evening drink. It is a habit that affects the heart and the mind in equal measure. It is the habit of social isolation. We often glorify the lone wolf. Especially for men, there is a cultural script that says we should be self-reliant, stoic, and independent. As we age, our social circles naturally shrink. Friends pass away, colleagues drift apart after retirement, and children move to distant cities. It becomes easy to retreat into our homes, to close the door, and to exist in a world of one. We tell ourselves we prefer the quiet. We tell ourselves we don't need anyone. But our biology tells a different story. Humans are herd animals. We are wired for connection. For thousands of years, to be alone was to be in danger. When we are isolated, our brains perceive a threat. We enter a state of hypervigilance. Our bodies release stress hormones like cortisol, preparing us for a predator that isn't there. This chronic background stress wreaks havoc on the body. It raises blood pressure. It suppresses the immune system. It disrupts sleep. Studies have shown that severe loneliness carries the same mortality risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It is a physical weight on the heart. This is the silent killer because it feels like a personal failing or simply a personality trait. We think, I'm just a private person. But there is a difference between solitude, which is restorative, and isolation, which is corrosive. Solitude is a choice. Isolation is a prison. When we stop sharing our thoughts, our stories, and our burdens, we start to fade. The brain needs the complexity of conversation to stay sharp. The heart needs the warmth of a shared laugh to stay rhythmic. The simple act of greeting a neighbor, calling an old friend, or volunteering at a local center acts as a powerful medicine. It signals to our deep biology that we are part of the tribe, that we are safe, and that we have a purpose. Now, having heard this list, you might feel a heaviness. You might recognize yourself in the chair or in the silence of an empty house. You might feel the weight of regret, thinking, I have done these things for years. Is it too late? This is a common shadow that falls over our thoughts in the late evening, but let us gently disperse that shadow. The human body is miraculously forgiving. It is never too late to make a change. The goal is not to become a different person overnight. The goal is simply to make a small adjustment to the rudder of your ship. If you have been sedentary, you do not need to start exercising tomorrow. You just need to stand up a little more often today. If you have been isolated, you do not need to host a party. You just need to make one phone call, one small connection. If you have neglected your water intake, the solution sits in a glass on your bedside table right now. These changes are not punishments. They are gifts you give to yourself. They are acts of kindness. Think of your body not as a machine that is breaking down, but as a faithful companion that has carried you through every storm and every sunny day of your life. It deserves a little water. It deserves a little movement. It deserves the company of others. Some of you may worry that physical limitations prevent you from moving much. Perhaps the knees are stiff, or the back is sore. This is valid. But movement does not have to be large to be effective. Even stretching in the chair, rolling the shoulders, or wiggling the toes keeps the blood flowing. Even deep, rhythmic breathing exercises the diaphragm and calms the nervous system. Do what you can, with what you have. That is enough. Others may feel that the effort to socialize is too great. Hearing loss can make crowded rooms exhausting. The speed of modern conversation can feel overwhelming. This too is understandable. But connection does not have to be loud or fast. A quiet game of chess, a letter written to a grandchild, or a slow walk with a friend allows for connection without the chaos. You get to set the terms. You get to choose the pace. As we move toward the end of our reflection tonight, let us look at the bigger picture. Why do we care about these habits? Is it just to add numbers to our age? To hit 80 or 90 or 100? Perhaps. But there is a deeper reason. We clear away these bad habits not just to survive, but to thrive. To have the energy to watch the sunrise, to have the clarity of mind to read a beloved book, to have the strength to hold a loved one's hand. We want to clear the fog so that we can fully inhabit the days we are given. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a slightly lighter burden. You drink your water. You brush your teeth with care. You take a short walk, feeling the air on your face. You call a friend just to say hello. In the evening, you skip the heavy drink and instead settle into a deep, natural tiredness. This is not a fantasy. This is a very achievable reality. It starts with the awareness you have gained tonight. You have looked behind the curtain. You know now that alcohol is only a small part of the story. You know that the chair, the silence, and the dryness are the things to watch. So as you lay your head down tonight, let go of the worry. You do not need to fix everything at once. Tonight, your only job is to rest. To let the body repair itself, as it knows how to do. If you found comfort in this perspective, if you found a nugget of truth that resonated with your own experience, please consider clicking the like button. It helps this message reach other men who might be sitting in their own quiet rooms, wondering about their health. And do subscribe to our channel. We are building a community here, a gentle army of seniors who are choosing to age with dignity, wisdom, and peace. We would be honored to have you with us for the next broadcast. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and release it slowly. Let the day slide away. Let the list of habits fade into the background. Tomorrow is a new opportunity to be kind to yourself. Tonight you are safe, you are informed, and you are not alone. Sleep well. Good night.